Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new update on the price of Bitcoin and what is happening in our recent price action. Well, I'm risking to sound like a broken radio, but in fact, the current situation is one of the hardest situations which you can find on the market because it is accumulation, it is correction, it is sideways price action, and everything which you have to do is wait. So generally, there is nothing changed. In principle, yes, we're going a little bit up, a little bit down, but it is still the same area. We are still having lower highs. There is a little attempt of making a new low, higher low, which was actually broken right here, but still again, generally, we are above the previous low, and all the supports which we were talking about before that were resistance in the previous cycle here, 9,400, here, $9,000, and even the one which we didn't try to test yet, $8,360 or $50, they still work pretty much in the same way. So right here, this support held, and although this triangle, you see we were drawing this triangle as well, it was first broken to the upside and then immediately to the downside. You can just see how the huge players are trying to find liquidity in the market, try to shake out both sides of the spectrum of traders, those who went short, then those who went long. You may expect, for example, that after the price from this area went to the upside and have a little bit of the potential to go even higher because of this higher low, then a lot of the people were trying to enter the market and they put their stop losses at the area below previous low, some around here. So the price went just exactly to this area to collect those stop orders. And you see we had a little bit of the volume after that. So there's nothing extraordinary. Moreover, with all of that price action, you see the volume is going lower and lower and lower, except this area, which is more like an exception because of the surpassing of the previous low over here. But in general, it means that there is a preparation for the next strong move one way or another. Again, I still believe that it is more likely to be to the upside because of the global trend is still bullish. I don't see any reasonable proof or arguments, including TA perspective, why this could lead to the transition to the new bear market or much deeper correction. Of course, you can wave your hand, speculate, but in my opinion, there is nothing substantial, there is nothing significant that states this. And moreover, there are a lot of things which are stating the opposite. The only one thing which is a little bit disturbing is that the baseline of the Bollinger Bands comparing to all the previous cycles which we looked at, I mean mini cycles over here, this is correction, this is another correction, the baseline was going flat pretty much, so it didn't go lower. Right now it's actually started to decline, but this is partially because of the fact that this correction is much bigger than the previous ones. So that one was like to the first Fibonacci retracement, this is at least second one or even third one, having a 35% correction from the top. So there is not so much of the surprise that we have the baseline going lower, and the bears may argue that in such a setup, in principle, we can have one more lower low going below this point, and at the same time we will go here lower than the lower band of the Bollinger Bands, which in principle would again lead to our lowest and the last target for this correction, which is $8,350. But again, in my opinion, although this is possible but unlikely to happen, really low probability. And speaking about probabilities, so you can look at the historical volatility, and on the 4-hour chart it is clear that there is a nice correlation between the volume happening during this price action and the volatility. It was almost at the top at this area. The next rise was here, which is actually lower than the previous one, and right now it is going lower and lower and lower, which again is a sign of the fact that most of this price action, the most active one, is over, and we are in the accumulation phase, in the preparation phase before the new rise or new drop. Again, rise is more likely in my opinion. And if you look at the daily time frame, then you will see that right now it's actually going down. I mean, historical volatility peak was before, it's now going down the same way as it happened previously many times in our bull cycle which we had before. So every time that when the correction is evolving, the lowest point of the correction is occurring at the top of the historical volatility, and as soon as it's going lower, then we have lower and lower chances for the correction to continue and having some deeper moves in the same direction. Moreover, the same situation with SOPR remains. It has a little bit dive because of the recent price action, but still nothing crazy. It is above 1, and the lowest point which we had around July 18th, 19th still remains, continuing the same kind of bullish divergence. And really, again, the main point here is whether we think that this is the change of the previous bullish trend or this is merely a corrective move. In the first case, of course, we may expect the price going much lower and all our assumption for the supports, for the timelines and everything are not valid. However, as soon as this is just a correction and there's a tons of fundamental reasons to believe that this is just a correction, and also even from the technical analysis perspective, which we covered several times before, this is nothing more than just a corrective move. Yes, it's like 35%, yes, it's scary, yes, it looks like it will go even lower, but guys, every time when it has the peak of its current move, like to the upside or to the downside, like it was at the peak in December 2017 when everybody was saying that, oh, it will go to 100k or something, the same way that it was in December 18th when nobody believed that $3,000 is the bottom and we will go to $2,000 or $1,000. And even right here when $14,000 was pretty much a dangerous area and most of the people were saying, no, they will not stop here, we will go to 20k next month or something like that. All of that is just the same story. When the trend is too strong, when it's too convincing that it's about to go even lower or higher, it actually changes. The same here. To be honest with you, in my opinion, most of the analytics out there, most of the traders, just those active people who are in this space, they are saying that no, we'll go to a lower low, and the range for their expectation varies from $8,500 to $7,000, even $6,000. And of course, as you know, the market usually goes against the expectation of the majority of the people who are playing in this market. So considering that, I think it's still the most valuable and reasonable strategy to buy during the price going down. Do it cautiously, of course, not investing more than you can afford to lose. And guys, everything which I say is my personal opinion, not a financial advice, but saying that when we are dealing with a correction of the asset, which is potentially going much higher, during this period of time, we are buying. We need to get rid of our fear, we need to turn on our logic and buy on the way down. Nobody knows when it will stop. Of course, we can estimate it roughly with some technical analysis, but when and if it is going beyond those expectations, just average down, dollar cost averaging. So I think I bought somewhere around $11,000, maybe $11,400 first time. I didn't sell here, then I bought once again in pretty much the same area. And the last time I bought at $9,700, actually somewhere around here, when there was a support. And I didn't sell here, and I didn't sell here because you see how sharp those moves are. Apparently, this is just a manipulative price action to shake out all the weak hands out there. So what's the point to try to catch those relatively small moves? I mean, you can try to day trade, but what's the probability of you being succeeding in this? Of course, with tight stop losses and everything, it's probably possible, but it's really exhausting, really time consuming, and I think it's more reasonable just to try to catch bigger swings like that, and this correction is one of those. And I don't want to say that people who are claiming that we are in the downtrend right now are wrong. No, we are indeed in a downtrend starting from $14,000, but this is the short-term downtrend, and trying to follow this downtrend at the point when the saturation is very likely to happen and when this move is already exhausted, it doesn't seem to be reasonable at all to me. This is what you call catching a falling knife. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to decide on your own, but the only one thing which I really can give you as an advice is that try to make your decisions based on not your emotions but on logic and your view on the market, regardless of your expectations or your desires of where it should go. Okay, some minor updates. Of course, I do update on Telegram channel and Telegram chat, so feel free to join if you want. So far, let's observe, let's see where the price will go. And this is probably it for today. I hope that it was somehow useful. Thank you for watching.